And tonight on our Great American Panel, he, a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, Fox News contributor, USA Today columnist, person who curses on TV more than anybody else. Bob Beckel is here. He's the CEO of WStreet.com, Fox Business Network host. Charles Payne is with us. She is the news editor for Townhall.com, contributing editor for Town Hall Magazine. Katie Pavlich is with us. All right, let's run all the Wall Street madness. Let's run the brilliant, the genius Roseanne Barr.
I first would allow the guilty bankers to pay, the ability to pay back anything over $100 million personal wealth, because I believe in a maximum wage of $100 million. And if they're unable to live on that amount, then they should, go to the re-education camps, and if that doesn't help, then be beheaded.
Why the hatred towards people that are successful? When did that happen in America?
I'm not really sure. I think President Obama's had a really good, had a success in the class warfare thing to an extent. However, I'm wondering when the last time you heard a Tea Party member say we should behead people on the other side simply because we disagree with them. You can't think of any because it didn't happen. And then you look at these Wall Street protesters, which she was referencing. 700 people have been arrested. Yeah. I mean, when have you seen that at a Tea Party rally? They've been demagogued, and there's just such a double standard with the left.
Roseanne Barr is a hypocrite. Listen, she must have called their accountant the day before and said, "What am I worth?" He said, $99,999,000. Listen, her, Warren Buffett, everyone else who's crying about this, all these ultra-rich people who are so crying, Michael Moore and Susan Sarandon who are driving up in their limos to give these Occupy Wall Street a vote of confidence. They're hypocrites. Write a check. You know what she should have said? It's if you can't live off of $1 million, give it all back, and I'm going to set the example. I'm giving away all my wealth to those kids down in Wall Street.
Exactly.
They're all hypocrites. Come on, that's the bottom line.
Bob, I mean, I think that's a good point by Charles, is that they have the ability, liberals. You guys can be generous with your money. All these rich liberals, limousine, Learjet liberals, they can give their money away, but they choose not to. They can give it to the government.
First of all, let me just say that Roseanne Barr is nuts. Do not lump the rest of us in with.
What do you think
Roseanne
those people down on Wall Street that we keep interviewing?
I'm going to join them tomorrow, as a matter of fact, before my.
You'll be the smartest one down there.
No, that's not necessarily. But I'd say one thing: Roseanne Barr does not speak for the progressive community, but there are people who do, who say that one of the great travesties of justice is there are thousands of people that have been out of their houses because they haven't been able to pay for them, because these Wall Street bankers, none of whom went to jail, who sold phony securities, and they knew they were phony securities, and not one of them have been punished. And that's one of the great disgraces in the history of this country.
You know, it's a disgrace.
Those bastards ought to be in jail.
So should the people involved in pouring, $535 million down the drain because they wouldn't do due diligence with taxpayer money. What's the difference?
Look, and these are people
what's the difference between that and what these crooks did? At least those people, I think, actually thought they had something.
But when did we stop? When did we start hating people that are successful? That's a big part.
It's not successful. Those people were crooks.
Look, Bob, these people signed up for loans to houses they could not afford. That is what happened. And it's not the responsibility of the bankers. We shouldn't be beheading bankers simply because people weren't responsible for signing up their own loans.
The more important point, though, is the point that you're making. This idea that success should be vilified is absolutely frightening. Our country is teetering. Look at the stock market. There's a message here. We are in a lot of trouble to demonize, to say, you know what, we're going to cut the ladder of success in half. It's nuts. It's absolutely
You've
crazy.
never been more successful, Charles. There's the biggest spread between the wealthy and the middle class in the history of this country.
Let me show you something.
It's taking place now, and you guys are cashing.
Let me show you. Here's the trick. Okay, you want to talk income inequality? Here's the top. Here's the bottom. The dumbest thing in the world is to fix it this way. You want to fix it that way.
Right. Yeah, right. And then maybe get some of that to go down there to bring them up.
It doesn't go
down.
That
never works.
Listen, the day after Thanksgiving, I'll tell you what, the day after Thanksgiving, no, not the day after everyone's eating their Thanksgiving meal, right? Go to Walmart at midnight. You're going to see why a lot of people don't have money. They're going to take their welfare checks and bum rush the security guard, knock them down, and give away all their money.
No, you might be,
we have a ladder in this country.
You might be surprised. I spent my Thanksgiving with homeless people, and you know why a lot of people are homeless in this country? Because we've now had wars that we haven't paid for. Rich people get more and more tax cuts.
Be honest, man. Come on.
Look, you guys.
That's not why
they're
someone's
homeless because there's uncertainty in the marketplace. And
uncertainty in the market. That's why they're homeless.
Job creators cannot create jobs.
Uncertainty in the marketplace. I'm sure they think about it.
More with our very calm Great American Panel next. We continue now with our Great American Panel. All right, so you had this controversy over the N-word, and it got pretty heated on The View earlier today. Our friends of The View, here's what happened.
When the candidate, Herman Cain, talked about it, how radically insensitive it was yesterday. He didn't use the term N-word, which I guess is what we're supposed to be saying now. It's so hard to know what to say now. So I just used the word,
But
okay?
you know, I find that so interesting that you did, because when Herman Cain said this yesterday, he was on with Christian Amanpour, and it's very hard for me to say, and we never say it here. The name of this camp that Rick Perry's father leased, there was a sign that said...
On a rock. Okay, that's
So
the
wait,
difference
so
between the way you and Whoopi say it.
All right, but Perry's saying his father erased it. His father, you know, got rid of it.
Yeah, here's the problem that he's got, which is that his father was the original leaseholder. He and his mother. That's a 40,000-acre ranch. They lease a part of it for hunting.
Right.
Now, when Perry was governor, he took the lease from 2006 to 2008. There are now 7 Perry supporters on record saying they went to the ranch to hunt, and the sign was still there. Now, this is in the 2000s. So Perry said it was painted. Now, I'm not saying that I don't believe for a minute that Perry's a racist. I don't buy in that at all. I give Herman Cain credit for raising the issue. But the problem he's really got here
said tonight he had a problem with the word, not with Perry.
Right, but the problem really is somebody's not telling the truth here. Either the people who said they saw it, or Perry who said that it wasn't there. So I don't know.
You know what bothers me in all this is that where was all the scrutiny during Obama's cocaine use, his radical friends? You know, we're going to show a tape tomorrow night of him hanging out during the campaign with Malik Zulu Shabazz of the new Black Panther Party. Nobody in the media picked up on that.
Look, I think we need to look at the source of this story. This was put out by the Washington Post, who is notorious for running hit pieces on Republicans, Republican candidates, conservative donors, conservative businesses. And they set it up so it would look like Rick Perry was a racist as a reflection of the Republican Party. And they set it up to create tension between Herman Cain and Rick Perry. And the facts are kind of muddled. We don't really know all the facts.
This bothers me because you know what? You can have a few people say, oh, I think I saw that. I don't know what year, this and that. And he's telling a story, very different story. It's a 40,000-acre ranch, you said?
Yeah, it's a 40. Yeah, they have a part of a 40,000.
Excuse me, you know, it seems absurd to me. What do you think?
Well, you know, it does as the information comes in. I think, you know, Katie has a right in the sense that it felt like a hit piece. It's one of these things, everyone knows it's one of these things that will create a lot of animosity. It gets us away from the issues, which I think is the ultimate thing. Almost everything that we're hearing these days gets us away from the real issues.
What about this narrative that the Democrats are running that they want, the Tea Party conservatives want African Americans hanging from trees? If I hear this, I'm going to, my head's
there
going to
was one person that said that. Come on.
A congressman, a Democratic congressman.
Not only that, he was the head of the Congressional Black Caucus. And let's face it, when they couldn't dismiss the Tea Party as just being a bunch of dummies, they went the racist route. And you know what? I've been to about 7 or 8 Tea Party events, and I ask all black people to go because I hate it when people stereotype black people. I think that's